Flames tore across central Florida just hours before one of the state's biggest racing weekends, shutting down a major interstate, destroying vehicles and forcing evacuations as tens of thousands prepared to arrive. This is not peak wildfire season, but February 15th delivered dry air, gusty winds, and multiple brush fires that spread fast and dangerously close to homes, highways, and campgrounds. The most immediate disruption came near Port Orange, just south of Daytona Beach. A brush fire ignited and quickly burned through approximately 10 acres. That may sound small in wildfire terms, but the location made it critical. The fire reached a campground area and torched around 20 vehicles. Thick smoke poured toward Interstate 95, forcing authorities to shut down both northbound and southbound lanes between Daytona Beach and Port Orange. I-95 is one of the busiest corridors in the eastern United States, and the timing could not have been worse. The shutdown came just as crowds were arriving for events tied to the Daytona 500. Hotels were filling, campgrounds were packed. Traffic was already heavy. Suddenly, drivers found themselves rerouted, delayed, and surrounded by smoke. Fire crews moved aggressively. Despite gusty winds and dry vegetation that allowed flames to jump quickly, firefighters managed to contain the Port Orange blaze before it spread to nearby homes. No residential evacuations were ordered, no injuries were reported. By evening, authorities reopened I-95 in both directions. But that was only part of the story. Further south, in Polk County near River Ranch, a much larger wildfire was unfolding. The River Ranch fire rapidly expanded to an estimated 125 to 150 acres. Officials described structures as threatened. Evacuation orders were issued along Highway 60, specifically from County Road 630 eastward to the Osceola County line along the Kissimmee River. Residents in that corridor were told to leave. Power was cut to thousands as a precaution and due to fire-related disruptions. Crews from the Florida Forest Service, local fire departments, and supporting agencies deployed heavy equipment, engines, and air resources. They battled spot fires well into the night as winds pushed flames across dry brush. The combination of low humidity and wind gusts created volatile conditions. Embers can travel significant distances in these environments. A small ignition can quickly multiply. Authorities have not yet released an official cause for either blaze. What makes the situation particularly sensitive is the broader context. Central Florida is not traditionally associated with winter wildfire emergencies, but extended dry spells and shifting weather patterns have increased fire risk even outside the usual summer peak. And then there is the economic and logistical impact. The Daytona 500 weekend draws massive crowds to the Daytona Beach area. Tens of thousands of visitors travel through Volusia County. Hotels, restaurants, and campgrounds operate at full capacity. When I-95 shuts down, even temporarily, ripple effects spread quickly. State officials warn drivers to expect ongoing traffic delays due to residual congestion and emergency operations. Smoke can linger. Fire crews often remain staged in case winds reignite hotspots. In Polk County, the situation remains more fluid. Evacuation zones along Highway 60 highlight the seriousness of the River Ranch fire. That corridor runs near rural properties, ranch lands, and wooded areas where structures are more vulnerable to fast-moving brush fires. Firefighters focused on building containment lines, both natural and mechanical, to stop forward progression. Bulldozers and hand crews worked to clear vegetation ahead of the flames. Air support, when available, targeted active hotspots. As of the latest reports, no injuries have been confirmed in either incident. No homes have been officially reported destroyed. But the threat remains real. Wildfires in Florida behave differently from those in western states. Vegetation types, humidity swings, and flat terrain can create fast, low-moving fires that spread widely rather than climbing mountainous slopes. Even relatively small acreage fires can have outsized impact if they intersect with infrastructure, highways, power lines, or populated corridors. And timing matters. With the Daytona 500 events underway, emergency officials are balancing wildfire response with crowd management and traffic coordination. Any further flare-ups could complicate evacuation routes or strain regional resources. Authorities are urging residents to avoid outdoor burning and remain alert for shifting smoke conditions. This episode underscores a growing pattern. Across the United States, shoulder season wildfires, outside the traditional summer months, are becoming more common. Warmer winters, drier vegetation, stronger wind events. Florida, known globally for beaches and tourism, is not immune. For now, both the Port Orange fire and the River Ranch fire are being actively managed. Interstate lanes are open again. Containment efforts continue. Evacuations remain in place in parts of Polk County as crews work to secure fire lines. But conditions remain dry. And as racing engines prepare to roar at Daytona International Speedway, firefighters across central Florida remain on alert, watching the wind. This is a developing situation. Updates are expected as containment percentages are confirmed and evacuation orders are reassessed. For residents near Highway 60 and River Ranch, vigilance continues through the night. For travelers heading toward Daytona, delays may persist. And for Central Florida, February has delivered an unexpected reminder: wildfire season can arrive without warning.